We have with us Carl Martin, the son of the legendary U of M booster and Detroit numbers kingpin Ed Martin. A numerical genius. I mean, he had just a born inclination, right?
Yes, he did. And there's someone there struggling, trying to catch up with him with the calculator, and they hit the total button and say, he did it again, he's right. He can do that.
It wasn't a secret that your father was supporting people like, let's put it out there, Chris Webber, Jalen Rose.
Right. Robert Trailer,
Motel.
And there's many others. I will say, after he went pro, a call to his dad resulted in do me a favor and don't call here no more. And you wonder like, whoa, where did this come from? Well, you guys really gonna be surprised what we do for you when Chris makes it. You're gonna be surprised. And so I used to have a joke with my dad after he made it and we were unpleasantly surprised. I say, hey Dad, he said, well, I say, aren't you surprised at what he done for you? We just laugh because he ain't done a damn thing,
Big Boss Filmworks presents Motown Mafia Podcast, dedicated to representing life in the struggle, and the struggle is relative. And now, your host, entrepreneur, Courtney Brown
About some, again, skill sets that we in urban America have and how they transfer over to the mainstream, and we just gotta put our minds in the right set. So, the last kilos that I was involved in selling were not kilos of boy or kilos of girl, but kilos of coffee. For those of you who don't know, in 2015, while on a trip to Africa, I came across a brother through a mutual friend by the name of Miguel. He's a big-time international banker over in Angola, and he also owned a coffee plantation. For those who are close to me know that I am a avid coffee drinker, right? Long story short, we met. I was over there doing some consulting about apparel and some other things. That didn't get off the ground, but he approached me about getting involved in the coffee business. And he asked me, is there any reason... Well, first I tried his coffee in Angola. He asked me what I thought about the coffee. I said, it's good. In fact, my statement was, Miguel, it's better than 90% of the coffee I drink in America. He's toying with me now, but I don't know I'm being toyed with and being probed. And he's like, you think this coffee could sell in America? And I said, again, man, it's good coffee. It's better than 90% of the coffee that I drink. And he just kind of let it go at that point. 6 months pass. Out of the blue, he calls me and he says, hey, Courtney, let's go into the coffee business. And I'm like, well, is there any reason? And he goes, is there any reason we shouldn't do this? And I'm like, well, it's only two good reasons why we should not do this. A, I don't know anything about the coffee business outside of drinking it. I know about going to Starbucks and ordering coffee, or finding me a nice cafe that's got some Jamaican Blue Mountain. And B, I don't know anybody that's in the coffee business. He says, but you're a businessman, aren't you? I said, I guess I'm a relatively competent businessman. He says, and you do know a lot of people. I said, yeah, I know people, and the people I know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And he says, okay, there'll be 40,000 kilos of coffee coming your way heading to the port of Baltimore. And I'm like, well, you know what, man? If you're silly enough to send me 40 kilos of coffee, I'm silly enough to try to figure out a way to sell it. And hence the Cafe Kazingo line of coffee was launched. So this is, though, the part about skill sets being transferable. So I'm like, you got to bring me up to speed on how this coffee business works. And he starts to explain to me that some coffee beans are really strong, high in caffeine, good flavor, good aroma. Other coffee beans are not highly caffeinated. They don't taste or roast as well. And that's why it's a commodity. It's a cash crop. Now, he doesn't know anything about me or my family background, but I'm thinking to myself, oh, I know a little bit about cash crops and how commodities work. Then he starts to tell me about, well, coffee is done in kilos, it's sold in kilos, and so you can take a kilo and there's 36 ounces in a kilo, and if you've got 20 ounces of really good coffee, it can be diluted. Excuse me, Phil. It can be diluted with 16 ounces of not so good coffee, and when you blend it all together, it's still a great cup of coffee, even though by diluting it with the weak coffee, you lower down your. And I stop him, like, hey, Miguel, I get that. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I am very versed in how the dilution but yet quality metrics work, right? That if you can take something and dilute it 10 or 20%, but yet it still has the same value as if it was 100%, there's a thing called a profit that is created, right? And we went on to come out to be the largest, and I believe in 2016 and 2017, we were the largest African-American importers of coffee in the country. We were the first people to bring coffee from Southwest Africa to America since those countries became independent. Angola got its independence in 75, right? And that's been a whole journey. This whole pandemic thing has really caused us to put the whole coffee venture on hold. But so what I wanted to talk about and say beyond that, shout out to Miguel and Cafe Kazingo. Anybody who's wondering what's going on with our coffee business, there are people in the streets who never pass chemistry, but you give them some baking soda, some hot water, and a couple ice cubes, they can do scientific experiments to perfection, right? We understand a lot of things that society don't give us credit to. Diluting kilo businesses, cash crop businesses, right? I look at the whole cannabis business, and how it's 38 states now cannabis is legal. There's a ton of opportunities like in that business, and a lot of people in urban America actually already have the skill set and IQ to get involved in that kind of business. And so, and back to the coffee thing, there's some people who we did some things with who we never really recognized, and some of these guys you'll recognize. So, we sponsored, or one of the co-sponsors of Chris Tucker and his annual golf tournament. And big shout out, never really gave him the credit we needed to. Big shout out to Chris Tucker. I mean, our coffee company, Cafe Kazingo, along with some companies you might have heard of, like Nike, Jordan, Delta Airlines, sponsored Chris Tucker's annual golf tournament down in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And I want people to know, and Chris is at the top of the entertainment food chain, but all of this stuff and this journey we've been on, we've been blessed to interact with all kind of people. So big shout out. We did it for 2 years in a row. COVID made us take off last year. This year, just with the pandemic we went, it's something that we hopefully will be able to get back to in 2022. And some of the other people who support Chris Tucker and then Via have been supporting Cafe Kazinga. Hall of Fame football player Lawrence Taylor, shout out to LT. Dikembe Mutombo, the NBA All-Star player, he was always very supportive of us. And we got who else? Yeah, even though I don't always agree with his politics, frat brother of mine, Roland Martin. Shout out to him, another supporter of Cafe Kazinga and the Chris Tucker tournament. Vince Carter, Vince Tabulous, NBA All-Star, probably headed to the Hall of Fame himself. Shout out to him. Herschel Walker, another NFL Hall of Famer, regardless of his politics. Johnny Gill, R&B legend. We got some stuff. Maybe you find the photos and some of that stuff for the family. Johnny Gill, Jeffrey Osborne, Bo Jackson. Oh, and special shout outs, Marcus Allen, Hall of Fame football player. He was actually on the last tournament. He was a part of our 4-man team, and just a great guy. Full of great stories. Who else? Barkley was he was on the team in front of us, but just hearing Marcus Allen and Charles Barkley go back and forth at it, Marcus is like, Chuck, I wish we could have got you on the football field, and Barkley talked crazy, talking about, Marcus, if I'd have played football, I would have took your Heisman Trophy, not you. So, I mean, all those kind of guys, again, this journey's really allowed us to to do some fun things, man. To do some fun things. And then again, back shout out to Chris Tucker and to his family. His family helps, really puts this thing on in-house.
Didn't you find out, or not you found out, but Chris, he's has Angolan lineage.
Yeah. Dr. Henry Louis Gates. Did a big thing, a documentary series on PBS where he reached out like to Oprah, Chris Tucker, and some other real high-profile African Americans. If you guys have never done your Ancestry.com to find out, if you read our book, Getting Off Zero, Mind Right, Money Right, our thesis is if we knew better, we do better. And knowing where you're from is a part of that. So yeah, anyway, Chris Tucker had did the DNA test, and come to find out that his ancestors hailed from Angola, which is actually what led to us all kind of linking up. When our people reached out to his people in Cali, and he knew our coffee was coming in from Angola, he was really open to the idea, and we put up some dollars and some product and got involved with him. So shout out to that whole situation with Chris Tucker, and again all the other celebrities who supported his foundation, and by doing that supported Cafe Kazinga. So we are still in the coffee game. It's kind of in hiatus for those who was wondering why you haven't heard anything about that. Again, we hopefully get that relaunched next year. Newbie and Joe. It's going down. In fact, you can still reach out to us, and we'll keep you abreast of what's happening with that project. But again, never know, family. Like always say, you never know. That's why you got to travel. You got to meet people. You got to engage in conversations. I know we all love our friends and family, but sometimes you got to get out of your immediate network. You got to grow your network, and you got to be willing to try. Again, I knew nothing about the coffee business. Next thing I know, we're at the World Bank selling coffee to the lords of finance on planet Earth, and all over. From Atlanta to New York, we put that coffee cafe thing down. Had a brief period of time at the cafe out there at Great Lakes Crossing. It's just been an adventure. Just really been an adventure. So, again, I hope it gave you guys a little inspiration. You never know how these happenstance meetings, you never know who you're talking to and what they can do and where this journey will lead. So, right, this whole coffee thing and hanging out again with Chris Tucker and Lawrence Taylor and Vince Carter and those kind of guys, this whole coffee thing starts because I'm going over to Africa to help a guy supposedly set up a beauty supply shop. Well, the beauty supply never happened, but a whole coffee industry or coffee business did take off from that. So shout out to everybody, and again, stay tuned. We'll be hopefully re-adding the coffee industry back into our portfolio of activities 2022. So Money Mondays, man. If you got an idea, again, we do not market ourselves as a consultant, but we do take certain invitations, or if there's something that we really can help you with, we sometimes give a free count. We do always, if you shoot us an email and it's something I think I can help you with, I do a 30-minute free consultation. If it's something that is out of my skill set or out of my network skill set, I'll just say, I can't help you. I'll try to point you in the right direction. But if I can, we can chop it up. I'm a busy man. It may take a minute to get me on the phone, but I'm old school like that. I don't do a whole bunch of emailing back and forth. But if it's something I can be of assistance to you, I will. And, maybe there might even be some business synergy there.
And always, just don't forget this. If you do happen to come across Mr. Brown in the streets, have your pitch ready. You never know.
Never know. Yeah, people hit me up, The blessing, the curse. The scriptures say, to one much is given, much is required. So I don't duck that. I mean, I have at this stage and age of the game, I'm kind of picky about the things I put my money into. But I do know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who do a lot of things, and you never know. There's a lot of things I'm involved in legitimately that I don't discuss here on YouTube or online, because mainly I have lots of business partners and associates who do not like attention, and it's not everybody's business what our business is. But that said, there's opportunities out there, so you never know. If you shoot me an email, bigbossfilmworks@yahoo.com. If you catch me in the streets or at the airport, holla at your man. I am not funny style. I have not forgotten from which I come, and I thank the good Lord for how good he has been to me and mine. So with that, make sure you guys please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Shout out to my man Eddie Baby over there at Instagram. Eddie Baby. Big shout out to, I hope you guys have been checking out the stuff that Uncle Butch, Tommy Sharp, Black Butch, the Black Dispatch, what he's been putting down for us. We got some other hot stuff. I mean, can't even really go into it right now, but again, we really am humbled and honored by the support the channel's been getting. Hope you guys are getting something from this stuff. Love you guys. Holla at your man. I'm out. We good, Lou?
We good.
All right, peace.
Peace.
It was just time to really tell a great untold Detroit story, because it kind of covers Detroit at its zenith.
Very interesting story.
We decided that we were going to make a movie.
All right, Rich Rossi with you with Motown Mafia. I'm with Courtney.
Louis Stevens,
Courtney Brown.
Courtney Brown Jr.
And Alan Al Prophet Bradley.
And this is an entrepreneurial, inspirational story too, because again, I'm a real estate retail guy. That's what my skill set is. But I'm a businessman, so I was like, we're gonna do it. Sometimes when you got a dream, you won't have all the answers on how you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
What made this one unique was not so much the crime, but the intertwining with Detroit's history and the Motown era and kind of the economic decline of Detroit. And it's really the story of a family. And from some perspectives, has a happy ending, like you said. For others, it didn't have a happy ending.
Right.